Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of our podcast series, which is called Food Frontiers, which covers thought leaders that are revolutionizing the agricultural value chain from farm to fork. Today, we are very fortunate to be interacting with Mr. Prem Kumar Vislawath, who is the founder of Marut Drones, an engineer who's an IIT alumni who has set up this startup which has successfully launched India's first drone for eradication of malaria, dengue, and chikungunya, sustainable agriculture, scalable reforestation, last mile delivery. The vision of Marut is to create the next revolution in agriculture using technology. In alignment with this vision, the company has built the AG365 Agricopter, the agriculture-specific multi-utility drone, which can perform multiple activities in agriculture: direct seeding, spraying, pollination, input fertilizers, thermal fogging, crop monitoring, and inputs delivery. Prem completed his BTech in ECE from IIT Guwahati. He has been lauded for his ability to find innovative and technical solutions to social problems, and has also got a spot in the Forbes 30 under 30 Asia in 2020 in the fields of sustainable agriculture, scalable reforestation, and last mile medical delivery. He also received the Emerging Technology Award for Drones and AI at the 6th NASSCOM Technology Conference and was a winner in Facebook's India Innovation Accelerator Program, AI for Social Good. The company got an opportunity to demonstrate its agri multi-utility drone agricopter to Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji at PM Kisan Sammelan 2022, with extensive interest on the utility of various payloads for improving farmers' lives. It has also got DGCA certification for multi-utility agricultural drones. So with that, I would like to welcome Mr. Prem Kumar Vislawath to our Food Frontiers episode today. Welcome, Mr. Vislawath. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Mr. Virat, and thank you, TPCI, and all the people who are watching this podcast. Thanks a lot to making me part of this podcast.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you here, Prem. So to start off, Prem, I would like to discuss what actually inspired you to establish this startup, and could you provide a brief insight about how how it was started, and how does drone technology support your vision of making a positive socio-economic impact in agriculture?
Sure. Thank you. The inspiration to start Marut Drones was to leverage the advanced technologies to address the persisting problems or challenges which are around us, and we are focused on a public health and agriculture to start with. So that's why we started working on the dengue, malaria, and eradicating the diseases like dengue, malaria, and chikungunya. Then eventually we have pivoted to agri, and the two main reasons were, which was a trigger for us, was if you search in India, Google a cancer train, everyday train goes from Punjab to Rajasthan for a treatment of cancer patient. Majority of like 90% of farmers who are prone to this cancer. So then we started observing this is not just a problem in Rajasthan or Punjab. Every part of the country where people who are in agriculture in their post 45s or post 50s, who have direct access to these chemicals, are prone to this cancer and a lot of health hazards. Second was the challenge was on the more of a in 2018 when we have started also. The Yavatmal, there's a place in Maharashtra where people were spraying, sudden wind blown to a couple of villages, and a lot of people got sick and got passed away, and a lot of issue has happened because of the wind blowing onto the villages when people were spraying on the fields. So that's where we saw can we do something through these drones? Can we disconnect access to this people who are in farming community who are spraying and it's falling on their body, and they're inhaling it, the same spray which is in the environment. That's where we started this journey. And definitely Marut Drones is dedicated for innovative drone technology to enhance the agriculture productivity, and definitely want to reduce the cost and increase the efficiency. And majorly what we were trying to see is to provide a precise and timely intervention through drones and improve the crop yields, and improve the farmers livelihood, and make a definitely a positive socio-economic impact is what we are looking at.
Okay. Thank you, Prem, for that introduction. Also, can you give us a basic understanding of what are the main products you have developed so far and what impact they are creating in the lives of farmers?
So we have developed around 4 products as a company. In agriculture, we have worked extensively. Started with spray. We've started doing the scientific trials and scientific validation uh, when we are spraying with the drone, whether it is falling on the crop or how much is drifting away. Second was on the when to use these drones. Like example, in Chile they use more than 10 times. In paddy they use 4 to 5 times. In few crops they use more than 2 times or 5 times. So when to use these drones was a question for us to initiate as it is scientific trial. Second was what height we need to spray this, because if you spray little low height, the because of wind, the crop might damage. So that we have taken different crops like height crops or crops like groundnut, crops like paddy, and we did scientific trials and validation from 2018 to 2021 and come up with the SOPs and release. That's where Government of India also uh, took us. We are part of the committees, and we made this more like government has come with subsidies, loans, and everything because of the effort what we have been there. Because that has been proven them in terms of the cost, in terms of the water saving, in terms of chemical saving, in terms of the ROI or the entrepreneur model which can create it in rural areas. That was there. So spray was the first. Next, we have worked on the fertilizers, granulars. Third, we have worked on the transplantation, direct seeding in paddy, particularly. Fourth, we have worked on the pollination on the seed germination point of view in hybrid rice. And next, we have worked on the crop. Basically, what we did is on the like what we do for human body, CT scan, MRI scan. We identify a problem and take a medicine, right? Similar, we have these advanced sensors which can tell you where exactly the pest or disease in the crop, so you can do the very localized or specific kind of intervention. So that's where we say is a crop diagnosis for a pest and disease, and providing them more of a more analytics and data. So eventually our vision is also is that today blanket spray happens. So if I have 20 acres, I'm doing entire 20 acres spray. Eventually, people will start diagnosing it, and they'll only do the more of the selective part where exactly the pest or disease, and that's where you see less pesticide in the yield and the better price for the yield and saving the money on the input cost for the farmer going to be there. So around 6 applications we worked in agriculture, we could see, and that's where you see similar to tractors how they have revolutionized the mechanization in the agriculture. Digital transformation and digital mechanization going to happen through drones, and similar to tractor, this can do a multi-utility and multiple intervention. So that's we could see. That's why we have named the product name is also AG365. 365 days usage of these drones in agriculture is what we are looking at.
Okay. That's great. And since the company is set up, what would you say are the key milestones which you have achieved? And I would also like you to share your interaction with the Prime Minister and what were the what the feedback did you get from him on the product which you showcased?
Definitely the feedback, because farmer is keen to use these drones, because as a pest or disease he has to address them. He doesn't have people to handle it. And it takes days for him to do it, and which is done less than few minutes an hour. That's why we could see a greater interest from the farming community and the farmers. Second is on entrepreneur people who are in rural areas. It can be a 10th pass polytechnic, it can be existing tractor driver or harvest driver. They are aspirationally they're coming towards adopting these drones and providing as a service to end farmer. So that's why we see a greater kind of the interest and a push from the state, central, and a lot of the CSR arms of the companies. All are trying to push this technology to the farming community, and we see that's where the companies have even provided drones to self-help group, the women, and they are going and working the farmers whose livelihood has changed from a per day 500 rupees to a per day 5,000 rupees that we could see that kind of a change by adoption of introduction of technology like this drones.
Right. Okay. At this stage in your journey, I mean, and when you look at, few years down the line, are there some significant, challenges in agriculture which you would like to, talk about, which you would like to address in the future through your technology innovations? What are the areas which you're looking at presently?
This is the early nascent stage where we are at present, where the technology, like you see tractors 20 years back and now every household has a tractor. Come earlier, the tractor was in one state to a one in one district or one mandal to a stage from every household. Our aspiration and our visualization is similar to how tractor has disrupted the in agriculture. Similar parallelly, this drone's gonna do. So that's why you see today drones are solving the immediate problem of the spray, because lack of manpower, skilled manpower, and health hazard. They're trying to solve straight away and saving the 80% of water. What they were spraying 100, 200 liters per acre with a knack sprayers or tractor sprayers. With the drones, they're spraying only 8 to 10 liters. So drastic reduction of water usage has come. So that has brought a lot of people back to agriculture actually. If you expect a 10 acres guy spraying 100, 200 liters per acre versus a 10 liters, 8 liters per acre. So he is bringing a bubble of 20 liters from his house and doing farming. That simple it has become now. So that's where we could see the enabling and bringing back the farming community into the people who have moved to cities outside country are coming back and trying to use these drones. Second is every farmer son or daughter are educated now and they're moving to cities. So there's a huge gap is created by this 20 to 35 years age old people are moving to cities trying to earn that 50, 60,000 and lakh rupee. With the using of these drones, people are earning per day from 5,000 to 10,000 and saving in a month around 50 to 75,000 rupees. What they were earning in cities are they can earn easily being in their own village, working with their own farming community, their own the people and doing the activity like a spray, seeding or fertilizer kind of stuff. So that's where we're seeing is this is a technology bringing and employing people in agriculture, making them to be in their own kind of the rural areas, and also retaining the lot of the rural youth to be in agriculture and work to the farmers.
Right. I just was curious because we often hear a talk about MRLs and the need to educate farmers on how much pesticides to spray, how to keep it at an optimum level. So, how can drone technology, make it very convenient and possibly economical for them in the future, so that they are able to, adhere to these standards?
So we are not giving these drones directly to the farmers, Mr. Virat. So what we are trying to do is we are enabling farmers to use this as a service at present. So we are bringing the agri graduates, BSc or MSc or the polytechnic, ITIs, or the guys who have minimum education like a 10th class guy, or a guy who's already doing some mechanization or doing some part of the part work in agriculture. We are training them. So that's where we are trying. We are not just selling these units. We are setting up drone training schools to train them how to use these drones in agriculture particularly, and particularly on the crop wise. If it's a crop like a rice, what to do, how many times to spray, what height, what is the safety norms to be taken care, because every adjacent crop is a different crop. So that doesn't create any issue to the neighbor crops. So there's all SOPs, scientific kind of a way of imparting the knowledge and everything we are doing through our training schools. So that's why we partner with agriculture universities or partner with all premium institutions, where we're trying to set up the schools and we're bringing people there and training them and sending back to their own village to work with the farmer. So that's where you see what they were the with the drones you are coming with a ULV formulation, ultra low volume formulations. So with that, the usage of the active ingredient might be same at present, But eventually, like what China is doing it, they have chemicals based for drones. They're chemical based for in Japan for drone based. So in India also, all these companies are working, doing the paid up trials and R&D on a coming up a new chemicals formulations for the drone based from a traditional pub where they were spraying, they were diluting in 100 200 liters versus diluting something in nanoparticles and doing it in something in 5 to 10 liters. Same thing can happen. So this entire transformation we are seeing in next 2 3 years, where the seed pesticide industry is also evolving to this technology.
Right, right. That's quite interesting. I just have, I think, two more questions. One is, of course, if you look at the broader agri-tech sector in India, how do you see its evolution vis-a-vis other countries in the world and its potential over the next decade? What are your observations?
See, we have listened and we have heard about the green revolution. We have heard about the Brune revolution. Now, the India is going through more of entire a technological revolution and technological transformation in agriculture at present. There are a lot of unpredictable things, whether it comes with pattern of weather, pest infection, shortage of labor, skilled labor, and still there's a limited access to the technologies. It can be IoTs, it can be drones. So all this gonna be solved in coming days. So majorly we see decision making or decision enabling kind of the technologies are gonna happen.
Okay, finally, I would like to ask you any specific challenges which the sector faces in terms of going forward, and any suggestions for the government which you would like to present to boost growth in this sector?
Uh, Definitely, Mr. Virat. See, what we see is drones still is in aviation space. Regulation, highly regulated kind of a space. Still, these are. So at present, already the regulation has been put up because of the agriculture point of view and usage point of view in regional languages. It can be in your mother tongue like Tamil, Telugu, Hindi kind of languages. This softwares or training, everything has come. But the regulation has to go long way because today we are using a 10 liters, 5 liters kind of a drones. Eventually, we'll be coming at more of 30 liters, 50 liters, 100 liters kind of a drones. This regulation has to also support it. Second is on the support from a skill development point of view, because this still is a niche technology. That's why we see it state, central, or there need to be a greater push on the skill development, having more training schools, training centers, or practicing like more of a you could think of a more of a testing facility where people come and test or learn, because it's just not once you have got trained doesn't mean that you learn it. You have to regularly practice it. So that's what we could see. Then the another is on the subsidizing lot of this taxation. Like still there is a GST of 18% on the training or 18% on the product. So coming up very much 0% on the more of adopting technologies. Basically in agriculture, the adoption itself is very less. When we are adopting, the taxation should be very minimal and zero, what I could see. That I could see is very better, and providing any kind of a subsidies, because people talk a lot in subsidies in digital, but on ground there's a lot of hurdles in executing these subsidies. It can be state, central subsidies, or in financial assistance to the farmers, or investing in drones, or promoting the awareness of it. Is that we could see greater support from the regulatory environment, or from the boosting this technology or accelerating this technology to the rural areas, to the farmer level. Yes, please. Hi,
Yes,
Mr.
right, Mr. Vislawath. Thank you so much for your inputs today. It's been a pleasure having you on the platform. I think the conversation provides us with a lot more confidence about the potential of your organization as well as for the kind of innovations we can see in the agri-tech sector in the coming years. I was particularly interested to see that, you could envision something like, bringing people back to the villages and being able to, make a better living out of agriculture and have a kind of a reverse migration, which probably would be very useful for India because agriculture remains to be a very, very critical sector for our economy.
Yes, definitely. I agree with you.
Right. Thank you so much for your time and your inputs, Mr. Vislawath, and we look forward to interacting again. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you to everyone.